Builders working on non-financial blockchain projects are most likely using one of two primary platforms. Many of the people we've talked to have actually tried both of them. The first is the public smart contract platform Ethereum. The other is the private blockchain HyperLedger. We're going to briefly cover the major differences between those two and how they differ from our new DLT, that's Distributed Ledger Technology project, Tupelo. As mentioned, the biggest single difference between those two projects is that Ethereum is public, meaning anyone can build and launch smart contract and apps on it. But HyperLedger is private, meaning who can use it, who has access to it, is fully permissioned. Tupelo is more like Ethereum in that there is already a public testnet with a public mainnet launching early in 2020. That said, Tupelo's data structure makes private data easy to accommodate on the public network and also supports fully private consortium networks like HyperLedger if that's what's desired. More on that later. Ethereum is built entirely on smart contracts through a new language called Solidity. This means that developers need to really think differently and learn many new skills to build an application. The architecture and language and potential pitfalls are not the same as the patterns they've seen in the past. That makes Ethereum's apps expensive to build. HyperLedger also has some new ways of developing, but is further challenged from an expensive setup process. Since each new network is set up just for that one application, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be set up. And every participant needs their own setup and their own permissions. That can be time-consuming and expensive. Tupelo has the public network, thus less setup overhead, like Ethereum, but with its unique data structure and an API that most resembles a database, developers can actually get started quickly and use existing skills that they built up over time. That unique data structure is called a chain tree, and whereas Ethereum and HyperLedger essentially model everything on tokens and the transfer of those tokens at the lowest level, Tupelo's chain trees each represent objects, and those objects have relevant data about them and history. So it's objects versus tokens.